The Nintendo Switch is in its 7th year on the market, something I'm sure we were all able to relate to at some point in our lives, and with most Nintendo consoles, mainly their home, they'd really only last 5 to 6 years and that's about it. I mean, there might be third-party or other smaller developers keeping the system going with new games every so often, but once the follow-up releases, you can always expect Nintendo to tell the system "F you" as a way to move on to another system that they'll also abandon in 5 to 6 years. Rinse and repeat, it's like clockwork. Never have I been more ashamed of being a gamer. Now their portables, on the other hand, now those are a completely different story. These things not only last significantly longer than their home console counterparts, nearly reaching a decade most of the time, but they can even coexist with the newer Nintendo portables as well, getting new games from Nintendo themselves every so often. That's a saving grace of systems that can play Chibi Robo Ziplash. And since the 80s, this has always been the pattern Nintendo has followed regarding their systems. Although that did change with the Nintendo Switch in March of 2017, and I think it mostly has to do with the fact that the Nintendo Switch is a home console handheld hybrid, so that effectively doubles as both the company's stay-at-home home console that would normally last 5 to 6 years on its own, but also because it's a take-with-you-anywhere portable that typically would last 7 to 9 years on its own, and yeah, it makes sense that they kept the system going for this long. And for the longest time, even after the 5-year mark, the system showed no signs of dying out anytime soon. It's the company's second best-selling console of all time, and I kinda get the mentality that even if they're running out of new games from the ground up to release for the system, they can just hold us over with remakes and remasters until they have new games to show off to continue building onto the system's success. Or, next option, waiting until the next system gets revealed and eventually released. Now, let's not jump to conclusions here. I'm not trying to say that the remakes or remasters that Nintendo's been putting out for the Switch just serve as nothing more than a means of holding us over until something better releases, because look at remakes like Link's Awakening and even Super Mario RPG, despite not being out yet. These have so much love and passion poured into them that you could very easily tell these were made out of interest to revitalize these older games and give them a new life on Switch rather than to just fill a release schedule. And plus, I feel that if Nintendo just remakes an older game for the purpose of filling a release schedule, then it's pretty likely it would be pretty easy to tell with regards to how much effort or time was put into it. Yes, I know this is just a compilation, keep walking. Although, there aren't too many instances of this being the case, so I think we can rest easy knowing that this company won't disappoint us too much. For now. Although, with 2024 looking to be a pretty remake/remaster heavy year, I think it could spell the impending end of the Nintendo Switch sooner than we think. Again, this isn't to spread any hate to remakes or remasters, but based on Nintendo's track record with past systems, having this many remakes/remasters lined up for a specific system is usually a sign that Nintendo's ready to pack up the system and move on to the next big thing they have cooking. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Now this isn't to whine about how many remakes we're getting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty damn excited for Mario vs. Donkey Kong and Paper Mario, and there could definitely be more games featured for 2024's lineup than just this that Nintendo hasn't confirmed yet. But aside from Princess Peach Showtime and Metroid Prime 4, whenever the hell that gets released, we don't really know anything else about what 2024's lineup will be aside from remakes/remasters. I mean, yeah, previous years like 2018 for example had quite a few remakes/remasters that we initially knew about going in, but look at systems like the 3DS. About 90% of the games that released closer to its discontinuation were either remakes or remasters. And look at the Switch! Anyone else seeing a pattern here? And there have been many talks online about how the Switch could see itself discontinuing sometime in 2024, either mid to late, or even just a reveal and a proper release in early 2025, similar to how the Switch did it in the Wii U era. However, let's push that all off to the side for now and think about whether the Switch should end in 2024 or not. So, should it? Well, the way I see it, there are 3 different options. A, you hate the Switch, B, you hate the Switch, or C, you really fucking hate the Switch. And I don't know how your status in the video game talking on the internet industry will be if you chose C. Regardless, for me personally, I'm a bit on the no side of things. Because while yeah, the hardware has noticeably aged and is continuing to age today, I mean come on, this thing is 7 years old now, The system has gotten arguably one of the best game lineups for any system, and has my favorite games of all time on it. Of course I want it to stay around to give us more. But at the same time, however, you have it being sold at the exact same time as technologically advanced systems like the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and it just sort of makes the system's hardware look worse. And that's not even mentioning how so many games on the system struggle to how you'd even like, even first-party Nintendo-made games. However, that does not take away from just how much I love this system and how much I'd love for it to stay around and offer even more unbelievable experiences. It's almost similar to the Wii in that sense. Yeah, the hardware isn't all too great, but you have amazing games and memories that just make it such a wonderful piece of technology in my eyes. And plus, if Nintendo continues the Switch even beyond 2024, who knows, the system may even surpass the PS2 in terms of sales, and that alone will make history on the industry side of things. And while I would love for the system to last even longer, it sadly looks to be that 2024 may be the impending end of the system. And like every other system that companies release, they don't last forever. So while it's great that the Switch has been around for as long as it's been, it sadly looks to be that things might change come next year. And I know people will disagree with me on how the Switch shouldn't be discontinued in 2024, but I personally don't want to see this thing end just yet. I mean, come on, let me have an opinion. It still has a lot going for it, even if it also has a lot going against it at the same time. There's just so much that makes this system incredibly special, and to see it all end within the next year would definitely sting a bit. But who knows, maybe Nintendo will actually listen to me and keep the system going even beyond 2024. And if that's the case, then I guess I'll be back to make the long-awaited sequel to the Should the Nintendo Switch be discontinued in 2024 video with, you guessed it, should the Nintendo Switch be discontinued in 2025? Because you know what they say, a video game talking person's job on the internet is never done. Even if you wish it was, it's been a long-ass year. And that's going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing and checking out my other videos on my channel where you'll find more videos like this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.